Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Product Talks. We're here to talk about our new data ops tool. It's a command line tool that significantly makes it easier to manage data in your Kontent.ai environments and to sync and migrate your environments. So let's first introduce who we're here with today. My name is Jordan Torby. I'm a product marketing manager at Kontent.ai. I'm joined today by Rostya and Izzy. Could you guys please tell us a bit about yourselves?
Yeah, sure. My name is Rostya and I am the contents product manager for developer experience, and I'm also currently managing the developer relations team who is behind this tool.
Yep. Hi, I'm Yuji Loida. Currently work as integrations engineer in DevRel.
Great, thank you. So let's get started by talking a bit about what it is that we have and why we made it. So what is this data ops tool?
Yeah, you already prefaced it a little bit. We created this tool during last couple of months. It took a lot of work, and we actually built like a whole new CLI all-in-one data management tool. Its main focus is on managing your project infrastructure. Projects can be very complicated. Many people have many different environments within such projects, and there is a lot of data movement and synchronization going on between those environments. And it's kind of very resource intensive, and there's a lot of manual work and custom scripting. It's really hard to keep track of everything and to have like a good idea about the state of the whole project. So we kind of went into this direction to make this tool that makes it easier to keep everything in a sync, keep tabs on everything, and just makes managing these complex environments a little bit easier.
Yeah, can we talk a bit about the environments model that we're using here?
Yeah, sure. So this is like a mental model of environments that we kind of work with. Obviously, this is like a simplified version, and there are a lot of different implementations, depending on the customer and their use case. But just for the sake of the presentation, we usually have some kind of like a development environment, right? Where developers create or test their content model changes and just develop different features and decide what works, what doesn't work, kind of sync the content model to the application. From there, you will have your QA and staging. These are optional, but a lot of people again use some kind of like middle environment to actually test the stuff from the development, against the content that is actually usually produced on production. And just before the release, it's nice to have an environment to test everything on. And then obviously you have your like gated production environment, which in a lot of cases is also the main environment for content production. But again, you need to kind of have it safeguard against some unpredictable changes. And obviously this is the environment that the live site is or live application is being connected to. So whatever you do there, all of your customers will see. There needs to be like a good separation between the other environments and the production environment, and you need to make sure that whatever you are putting into production is what you are comfortable, showing to your customers. And then some people also have like a backup environment. So again, it's nice to have like an environment that you can kind of go back to if something goes wrong on the production environment. Or just for different reasons, people need to have like backups of the old production code somewhere. So again, like this is like a simplified model. Some people have like multiple development environments, all that stuff. But what's important is how the data flows between these environments. This is like these arrows there. So you, like I said, you would develop your content model on the development environments. And then once you are happy with that and it's synced with your application, you would probably move this the content model itself to the staging environment just to test if it kind of works there. And then after your testing is ready, you would move this and deploy this to production. Once the production is ready, and everything looks great, that's fine. Then again, the other environments, non-production environments might sometimes fall back with regards to fresh how fresh the content actually is, right? So again, then sometimes you would want to move some of the newest content back to the development environment to kind of refresh the environment and make the developers work on like the freshest content that you have, so it doesn't really fall out of date that quickly. There are tools of doing that right now, but cloning the production environment, resetting everything up. So these are the typical implementations how people do this right now, but it's like very time consuming, and you have to reconfigure all of that stuff manually, or you do some partial custom scripting between these environments. So the data ops tool can help you with all of these scenarios, and we'll probably in the next slides we will see how actually this tool is useful in those like specific instances, and how it's much better than what we had until now.
Yeah, the first thing I'd like to take a closer look at maybe is synchronizing data between these environments, because I believe that's been quite a challenge in the past to achieve. Right. So maybe Jirka, could you tell us a little bit about how the data ops tool helps you with data synchronization in your environments?
Sure. Well, currently, during our consulting sessions with customers, we notice that mostly what customers do right now is if they want to apply the changes they made to the content model in the development environment or the staging environment, they want to apply them to production, they usually just either manually reproduce the changes there as well, or apply some custom-made management API script to the production environment, which both of these approaches are kind of error-prone. It's easy to make mistakes. It's easy to lose data during the process. So we actually got an inspiration from one of our customers that approached this scenario a little bit differently. They actually managed their content model in a JSON file, and applied this to a lot of their environments that they managed. So we thought, yeah, it would be nice to have a tool that can synchronize the changes from one environment to another without any manual work. So that's basically what the data ops synchronization is about. It can it just takes one environment and another environment, the API keys that so it can change the content model, and it applies all the differences, so that the target environment, which in this case would be production, is the same as the source environment, which in this case would be staging environment. If you want, you can also export the snapshot of the environment of meaning one of the entities locally into a file or into a folder, and from then you can store it somewhere, and you can modify it. You can basically keep your content model locally in a file in a GitHub repository somewhere. Keep a version control of those files, and you can manually change them and apply them to your environments, which has a lot of benefits in the version control. And also, you can see all the entities that are supported by the synchronization, and you can choose which entities you want to synchronize. So it's very configurable. Another good thing about this is that it can actually show you the difference between the environments. So with the diff command, you can see all the changes that you made during the development process. You can review them and see if you really want to apply all of those into production or not.
I just wanted to add that for me, I guess this is like one of the best features ever. We have like an HTML generated diff, which is like an interactive. You have like these drop downs you will see later in the demo, and you can really like dive into what actually is, what are actually the changes. And this is one of the coolest things, because it was really hard to do previously, right? Like I said in the start, it was really hard to see, what are the differences between these two environments, right? And like Jirka said, like usually this is done either manually, and we will even talk about that. But there is also, you can use like migration scripts that we already had as well. But these are like the small iterative scripts, that apply changes like you have in database scripting, basically. But again, like you don't really see the differences, and you just rely on that the target environment is, as you perceive it should be. But if you have a person in production that changes the content model manually there, you will never know, and the whole migration might just break everything. So this is like super cool that even if you have weird scenarios like this, when somebody changes something in production or in the upstream environment, you can just preview and see basically everything that will happen within that migration if you really click the sync. And you don't even need to like store all these different like small migrations. You just basically have your own content model. We can have it in a file like Jirka said in the local snapshot. You can still edit it manually, or you can just have like a source environment where everything is happening and all the other environments are being then synced from this one environment. And again, whenever you want, you can just export it into a very simple JSON format, update it locally, have like a stable snapshot, and just use versioning to see the history anyway. So I guess this is literally like very nice approach, very simple for the user, while also like covering all your bases, being less error prone than all the other approaches before it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to significantly reduce errors when it comes to synchronization and save a lot of time and reduce manual effort, I believe. So it's really great stuff. And we're actually going to see a demo of it quite soon. But before we get to the demo, I think maybe we can talk a bit about another feature of the new data ops tool, which is migration. So maybe, Ostya, would you like to tell us a bit about this?
Sure. So this is specifically for content migration. So again, like this is another use case that was highly requested. So this is just basically moving a lot of content between different environments. So for some reasons, you may want to do this. Some people also, if you have multiple projects and you have some shared content between those, again, it's super cumbersome just to copy everything manually or write your own custom scripts. Doable, but resource intensive. So yeah, we just added this functionality that basically you will have your source environment, your target environment, and you have multiple methods of selecting, which content do you want to move. So either you can provide a list of code names, just like super basic, right? Or you can even say if you want to just refresh specific environment, like I said at the start, I feel like my development environment is falling behind. Okay, so let's see, my latest update was a month ago, so I can just move all that stuff that's been there, updated from the last month, and move it into the development environment and just have the content fresh there. Like that is like super easy in just one command. Or you can just use like a specific delivery filter to just filter out the content that you want to sync. So again, like this is super useful, super nice. Then it can be used in multiple different use cases.
No, it's great. Maybe we could talk a bit about how you actually get to use it. So it is primarily a command line tool, but you can also use it in your code because it's available as an npm package, and it has an available API. So you can call it in your code, and you can use it for a lot of automation of tasks like synchronizing and migrating, which is great. We also have a lightweight UI, which you can use right now for environment syncing. So we'll show off those now. I believe that we have a great demo to show you. So let's take a look.
Yes, I'll start with showing of the command line capability. I'll just export a snapshot of my sample project like locally into a file. I'll share my screen. Here you can see the configuration for my command. Basically, to the data ops, you can provide the configuration in 3 different ways. If you use the command line interface, you can provide, as I do here, a JSON file with all the configuration keys that you want to provide, or you can provide them as environment variables prefixed with data ops, or you can provide them as command line arguments. So you can choose whatever you like, and you can even combine them, provide some of the keys in JSON and some of the keys in environment variables. So it's really nice. Here I provided all the keys that are necessary to export the snapshot of my project. I want to export on my content type snippets, and taxonomies. And I want to export them into a folder named snapshot. So if I go into a command line, I can just write a command like this. I want to execute the DataOps tool. I want the sync command, and from the sync command, I want the snapshot subcommand, which export the entities into the local file that I defined in the config file in the JSON. And if I run it, it will fetch the model from the environment and save it into the snapshot. And here, if I go into VS Code again, I can see the files exported. The format is pretty much the same as the management API format, which will return. It's only slightly different, and it's pretty easy to customize it. You can change the data here. And if I want to, I can synchronize the source files back into some another environment or the same environment again.
I guess just wanted to add that if you see the format, it's like Ilika said, it's simplified management API format. It's very readable, and if you wanna make this, you can basically use this also as a code-first approach to your content modeling. So it's super easy to understand, how the different entities are transcribed to this format. So if you wanna, keep your content model in JSON form and just edit it manually and do every change here, and again, like have it maybe in Git, so it's versioned, you can definitely do that, and it's just super easy. It's better than to use the migrations that we had in the past.
Yes. So that's all from my side.
Great, thank you, Jirka. And Rostya, I believe you have also something you'd like to show us.
Yes, I have the other part. I have the UI part. So again, like Jordan already said, we kind of build mainly for like presentation purposes right now a simple UI. Right now it focuses only on the content model synchronization between environments. We kind of feel that this is like the most exciting use case anyway. But yeah, we might extend this in the future as well, and it also is open source. So if you can basically is backed by the npm package of DataOps. So if you want to build your own UI, you are free to do so, and this is just an inspiration for you. So what we will do, so we have the source environment, the target environment. We will do some changes, and we will see the diff, and we will see if the synchronization actually works. So I have two simple environments, so I'll just fill out these properties. Basically very similar to what Jirka was doing, just in the UI form. So we need to add the source environment ID, we need to add the API key, and it kind of previews, which is again great. It's what is the project and what is the environment. So we are just sure that you filled out everything correctly. Then we have the target environment, which I have here. Okay, and it is in the same project, so I can use the same key. And again, you can see that this is the target environment. And now I can select, which entities I am interested in syncing. So for this demo, I just select everything. And now I will generate the file. So as you can see, like the environments are the same. There are no modified entities. Everything is in sync. This is basically a preview of how the HTML div looks. If you just use the console application as well, this is basically just an embedded HTML. So if you don't use the UI, just use the CLI, you will see this file as well generated if you decide to use the div. Now what I will do is go back to content, and this is the source environment that I had, and I will just do a couple of changes so we can see how the div handles that. So I decided, So I have this author content type, and it just has a name and a photo. So I will add the text called bio. That's one thing. And then I might also add a taxonomy. Let's say I have a lot of different authors. So just some of my authors have different focuses, on different categories. So just I just need to create the taxonomy first. That's my bad. Just go back to the content model, quickly create a new taxonomy, which I will call outer focus. And I will do tech, and I will do fashion, for example. Great. So when I have this, I can go back to the author and just use the taxonomy here. And it will be author focus. Great. So you can see I just made a couple of changes. So let's get back to the UI and let's rerun the diff. See what happens. Now you see we have some changes. So we have one edited content type. It's the content type author, and you can see I added a bio element and I added the focus element, which is exactly what happened. And also no change for snippets, anything else. And also new taxonomy group, author focus has been created, and there is a tag and fashion. So this is very simple, but obviously you can imagine if you have a lot of different changes, it can be all stored here. And again, like I said, it's configurable. So if you are interested in just content type, just taxonomies, some of these other entities, you are free to do so. And then let's go to the next step, which is again great. Just to make sure we are from my environment to the DataOps demo environment, and these are the entities that would be synced if I had multiple changes. Just sync, and now it's basically fetching the target environment. So it says okay. So let's regenerate the diff and just check here. And as you can see, there are no outstanding changes. So let's go back to content and see if that's really true. DataOps. So now I am in the target environment. I can go straight into the author. As you can see, there's name, photo, bio, and there's a focus. And focus has the outer focus taxonomy. So these changes were really synced. And as you can see, it really works as was advertised. So that's the whole demo.
That's great. Thank you, Rasta. And I think this is really a huge boost to the developer experience and working in Kontent.ai, especially when you're managing data in your different environments and synchronizing that data and changing between environments. So I think this is a super exciting update. But we want to talk a bit about how you can actually use it, right? So how do you get started if you want to start using this command line tool?
So the tool is hosted on the code for the tool is hosted on GitHub. It's open source. You can review it. You can submit issues if you encounter any, and it's also published to npm as an npm package, so you can install it in your code. You can actually run the DataOps tool directly from your JavaScript code, or you can install it and run it with npx as I did in the demo.
Yeah, great. So, and then if Rostep, maybe is there anything you want to mention that's coming up for this tool? Anything we should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, one of the things I forgot to mention, there is already some other stuff that this tool can do. It can import, export whole environments into zip files. It can again run the legacy migration scripts. It can clean environments, all that other stuff. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff there, and some new things might arrive as more customer requests and more feedback is being gathered. So because of this, we really put a lot of effort into the GitHub documentation right now. So you have really an extensive documentation in GitHub right now. There is a special documentation page for each command with different examples and with all the parameters that you are able to use. So definitely check that out. And from the product perspective, we will be releasing hopefully very soon a new documentation around managing environments, and there will be a special section around data ops as well. How do these specific scenarios might be made easy with using data ops with like some specific examples as well. So this will be coming. If you are interested, just stay tuned. To the classic channels, LinkedIn, and all the other stuff. It will be in product updates as well. So this is what we are working on right now.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, make sure you check out the GitHub repository. And thank you all for tuning into this episode of Product Talks. We hope to see you again for the next one.